What's going on, Parabolic?
What's up, my guy?
Man, it's all
So,
good, man.
you can hear me, right? I'm
Yeah.
perfectly clear. I'm using new headset, so I have no idea.
Yeah, you sound
All right.
good.
So, just a few things. Mental illness is not a behavioral disorder or whatever. It is expressed through behavior. It is expressed through, proclivities, and it is expressed through different means. But mental illness is not a behavioral difference. That is not how mental illness works. As someone who has a psychology degree, that is not how that works.
So hold on now. So you're saying now explain that again to me because
So,
okay,
mental
so
illness is expressed through a few different means, right?
okay,
But that
yeah.
does not mean that those means are what the mental illness is.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, take for instance, you can have autism, but you express it in different ways because different people have different forms of autism, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that a behavioral abnormality is a mental illness is just untrue. That's just straight
Mm.
up factually untrue. So what he said, factually untrue.
All right.
As someone with a psychology degree who, trust me, knows more about that specific subject than him, no, absolutely not. Also, in nature, there are plenty of instances where there have been like male/female, male transitioning to female, giving birth. Like, to
The
say
only time I
in
hear about
nature
that is
there's
like
just male and female.
seahorses. But
Yeah. That's not the only one, but it is the only modern one that we know of, right? But plenty of times in history has it been shown that males can give birth, male animals can give birth, right? And plenty of times has it been shown in nature
through
that
special
you can
circumstances.
transition from male to female and female to male in nature.
No, this is true. This is true. I've definitely heard of that before.
So the idea that people are saying, oh well, nature says we're only male and female, that's not even true. Like, think about
Now when it
the
comes to human
intersex that
beings, when it comes
obviously
to the way
expresses
we
itself
are
in
structured as
humans.
humans, when it comes to
Okay,
majority of
but our
animals,
humans
and when it
also
comes
have
to
intersex. Do we
procreation,
not?
but when it comes to
Do we
procreation,
have
what do we
intersex or
know?
not?
Intersex? It's rare
Do we
though.
have
That's
intersex?
like going on the
It doesn't
outliers.
matter. We still have it. Do we not?
We do, but that's depending on outliers.
Therefore,
Majority of the
it is
time,
not
though,
just male and female in humans. There
yes, it
are
is.
people who are in between. There are people who are in between. There are people
The 1%.
who
All right.
they're
So you tell
they're
me we have to count that 1% that's born with both a testes and ovaries? So the
I am
male, female,
saying
and
that you
intersex.
need to
No,
understand the
I get what you're saying. I
genetic.
get what you're saying because you
I
have a
am
point.
telling you that genetic variations happen, right? And just because they don't happen to express themselves in the genitalia being both at birth does not mean that you can't be a outwardly presenting male and an inwardly female. That does not mean that. So you can be an inward female, right? And present outward as a male genetically.
Genetically. So you're saying you could be
Yes,
genetically a
genetically speaking, you
flamboyant
can.
or a
So did
genetically.
you know that there's a potential for you to
I
actually
think that's
inherit
more in like. I think
100%
that's
of your
more
mother's DNA?
behavior taught. I think that's more behavioral taught if you're a feminine acting boy. That's more like that's more of your environment.
That's not true, my guy.
Come
Uh,
on, that's definitely true. Like,
I
come
would
on.
agree with you that I would agree with you that maybe in a predominantly feminine environment that a man may present as more feminine, but that doesn't mean that they are, a transitioner or,
No, of course.
so that just because a specific set of circumstances gives you a certain set of options, you don't have to go with one option or the other, right? Like you know that you have some sort of free will, right?
When it comes to gender, or when it just comes to personal choices of who you identify, what you identify yourself as.
Whenever you are given a choice in society, in nature, in wherever, right? You're given a choice. It could be a choice of 2 things, 3 things, 5 things, however many things, and you choose one of those things. You have the free will to choose one of those things, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that same regard, right?
Hmm.
There is an idea that, like, okay, so, oh, they're in a, like, a more female type of environment, so they're obviously gonna be present as female. I just You just showed me that you can choose something different, right? So you can just choose whatever the hell you want. So saying that, oh, because they're in this environment, it's going to obviously raise a more feminine person. Uh, my guy, I have 4 sisters, right? I am the second born. My father was almost never in my life. Yet I'm as straight as they can get.
Well, but then you were also
100%.
big bro though. Like you weren't little bro, you were big bro in a
I
way.
was, I was, I, no, I was second, man. My
Yeah, I
older
know,
sister
but
was
it's
older
like
than
there's
me.
only I get what you're saying, but there's only like one person above you. Other than that, you were pretty like
Yeah, but
protective over your sisters and all that good
what about
stuff.
my sister's friend that lived with us for 4 years? What about my older cousin that lived with us for 6 years? Right, and both of
Now,
those are female. Right,
I'm not
so
look, I'm not
this is
gonna
what
say
I'm this
every
is what I'm trying
time
to
you're
say.
raised around women, you're gonna come out feminine, but most of the guy actually every time a guy is effeminate, it's because they
The
grew up
option
around
can be
women. Not
chosen,
every guy's
but
affected in that way, but
the
most guys
same
who
thing can
come
be
out that way
said
came from that
about the
environment.
masculine raising. Right, you can have a masculine raising and then decide that you're going to go full feminine. You
I
can.
mean, no,
That is
you have a
100% a
masculine
choice.
raising and be gay, but don't
Yeah,
mean you're gonna go
and
full on
you can have a
feminine.
masculine raising and be trans too.
Nah, nah, nah. I
See,
don't know
that's
about
where I
that. You
think
know
we
what?
fundamentally disagree, because it's
Actually,
not about the choices that you make. For me, right, there
uh,
is a genetic component to it, right? Because and we have actually found this, and I don't know if it's necessarily about gender, but definitely about sex. Did you know? And we're going to get a little R rated here. It's good things like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, wherever you may be. Did you know that the kinks of your parents and the parents before them are most likely your kinks as well?
uh, I could, God damn it, I could see that actually.
And
Yeah.
it is true. And so kinks are passed down. So if kinks are passed down, why not sexual proclivities? Why not genetic proclivities?
Because I would say this: your kinks on, I would say your preferences can be passed down. Like, let's say that your dad was a lover of, I would say, a big chest. You turn out to be a lover of big chest. Now,
Even if
let's
you've
say your
never met
dad
your
was
dad,
a
by the way.
lover of,
Just
I
so we're
don't
clear, this is
know,
in
he
double
was a bit
blind
of a
studies.
sadist. That might be something that he might have figured out through his life experience instead of having a preference. So I think that a preference can be passed down, but not a kink.
Well, no. I'll have to look up the actual study, but it was done in 2024. But it is specifically kinks are passed down.
Really? Huh. Well,
Yes, it was like a psychological study that referenced over 20 different countries with a wide variety of age ranges, of course, all being legal, and try to determine based off of like their family's history. Like they went through different families, like, hey, what's your kinks? What's your kinks? Blah blah blah, and then they came out with basically without even knowing what each other's kinks are. Like I didn't know my father, like to tie women up or whatever the fuck. I don't know what my dad actually likes, but and just say, take for instance, I also like that. There is a genetic component to that. So to
hmm.
say that there's not a genetic component to also gender, I think is being naive. I wouldn't say disingenuous. I think it's naive.
Okay.
I think you're like not looking at the holistic picture of our genetic chromosome, understanding that we are an evolved species that has genetically mutated over years and years and years, thousands of years. And once you realize that, you'll understand that not only sex but gender and all these different things um, have a genetic component to it, and B, aren't as clear cut as male and female as a lot of people like to believe.
Hmm. All right. Yo, Chase, what's going on?
What's good?
What's good? What do you think? What you think about that one?
um, Obviously, your psychology degree didn't teach you anything in biology. That's what I think. Because Yes, there are
Did I not just
instances.
spend like 2 minutes on biology?
Yeah, and you were wrong about everything you said, bro. I mean, yes, there are instances of male and female, and not in between, both. Okay,
Mhm.
there are instances of that in nature.
Clownfish,
Not, huh?
clownfish, clownfish.
Okay,
They transition
cool.
from male to
We're
female
not.
if the female
We're not
dies.
fish. We're not
I just
fish,
gave you an
bro.
example.
We're not fish. We're humans.
But we are animals, and
A
animal.
human does
By the
not
way,
have
fish isn't
a
as.
human
Hey,
does not have the
by the way,
genetic
just so we're
ability.
clear,
A human does
a
not have the
fish is
genetic
not
ability to change their
a fish is
sex
not a
on
scientific distinction. By the way,
demand. What?
like saying fish, that's not a scientific distinction. There is no scientific word for fish. Fish is a term that we have given to things that live in the sea that aren't mammals. Fish is not an actual scientific term, by the way.
So what's the scientific term then, smart guy?
There isn't one because fish are so
Wow.
variety. There's some fish that are closer to us than they are to other fish.
What? What are you talking? Okay.
And I'm the one who fucking failed biology. Are you kidding me? I took advanced biology courses, man. Trust me on this one.
You must have been asleep.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go
I
ahead and get on the.
passed with an A plus, being asleep in the
Calm
class
down.
every
Calm
day.
down. It's okay, bro. Calm down. You can be wrong. It's okay.
You're coming on here being so wrong and being so confident about being so wrong. It annoys me when people are
You're
confident about being
literally
wrong.
doing that. You're literally doing that, bro. But okay.
All right, guys. We'll just go ahead and move along with the conversation on this one. Let's go ahead and get back to the
Explain
video.
to me one thing I got wrong. That's all I'm saying.
You wouldn't let me speak. You just kept yelling. Telling me
All right.
fish isn't scientific.
All right, then. How about this? I'll let you guys have a nice little 10 minutes, but let's make sure we're hearing all points out first.
He
Now,
can have the
Chase.
whole 10 minutes, by the way.
All right. All right, Chase. He's pretty much saying he'll give you the floor. Explain to him why he is wrong. And Parabolic, you're just going to have to let him cook. Let him cook. All right, go ahead, Chase.
I got you.
Okay. So even if fish or whatever you want to call them, not people, even if not people can change on demand, that doesn't mean people can. And just because there are people that are born with both male and female reproductive organs, that doesn't mean that they're somewhere in the middle. That means they're both. There is no spectrum of sex. It's male and female. You're either one, the other, or both. There is no gradient to it.
All right. Now, Parabolic, you got a reply for that one? You just want to leave it at that?
Yeah, I have plenty of replies, but I'm right by some copyrighted music, so I'm trying to talk, and then I'm gonna mute right quick, and I'll be right back.
All right. All right. But in the meantime,
I think everybody on this side of the pond is looking in absolute horror at the state of speech in the UK. It's absolutely abhorrent. Every day there's a new monstrosity. The statistics are over 30 arrests per day in the UK. That's about 12,000 a year, I think, was the estimate by the Times from a report in April. 12,000 people a year arrested by their government for the speech they have online. Pierce, I was mortified when you said not only was that comedian arrested, but the bail
Okay, I believe I'm close or far enough away.
all right, go ahead.
All right, so okay, the thing about intersex not being in between, but rather being both, that is I'm sorry, that's the dumbest statement I've ever heard. Right? So like, if you have both, you're both. Therefore, you are in the middle. To say that you're not on either side, you're on the entire spectrum. That's dumb as fuck. I'm gonna be real with you. Second off, fish are not the only thing, but again, fish are.
I didn't say they were the only thing.
So I didn't say they were the only thing. What I'm telling you is that they are the best example that we can have because fish are so varied, right? Mammals only really started taking over the land somewhere right around the end of the dinosaur period, as you will call it, right?
65 million years ago. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Jurassic or Jurassic era ended
So,
and
so
became the
basically,
Ice
mammals
Age.
have had
And you
65
have
million years to
some
develop
mammals,
that ability and haven't. Cool.
And when you say fish
But-
are closer to humans,
Hold on.
What's up, Monty?
That's me.
Oh, what's up, man?
that's Arbor.
Yeah, so if you're
Main
talking
arbor.
about fish being closer to humans, you mean other mammals like dolphins and whales?
No. There are
No.
fish that are on the what humans consider
Fish
fish
isn't scientific,
scale.
bro.
It isn't. There are fish, not mammals, right? I already specified fish or anything in the ocean that's not mammals,
Aquatic
right? There are
vertebrae,
fish, right? There are fish in the ocean that are closer to mammals, like to humans and other mammals, than they are to other fish. That is just scientifically
That
accurate.
doesn't make them mammals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're
It
also
doesn't. But what I'm telling you is that looking at these different species,
than we are trees. Big deal.
Okay, so if an alien shows up to planet Earth and they're closer to humans and they're neither, then what's your argument?
then
We
they
are
have
human, bro.
neither. Then they're not on the sexual spectrum. That would be called asexual. We already have a scientific term for that.
You're already choosing what the gender.
No, I'm telling you what the scientific term already is.
So they're asexual. You're saying they're not going to be.
No. This gentleman just said if the aliens show up and they don't have either, then what are they? And I say they're asexual because we already know how to classify that.
But you just said they're not on the spectrum. So either they're asexual or they're not on the
Asexual
spectrum.
isn't on the spectrum.
Obviously it is. If
No,
in your
it's
mind,
not.
obviously it is.
Sexually, no, hold on.
The
Sexual
point is there is
reproduction
no spectrum.
and asexual reproduction are two different types of reproduction. Sexual reproduction is the spectrum we're talking about, the male versus female. Asex would not have a sex, it just recreates another version of itself.
Has both spectrums, otherwise they can't reproduce. They
So
still have.
basically the way our cells reproduce.
Asexual reproduction is not sexual reproduction. That's why it says asexual. It means non-sexual reproduction.
Yeah, I'm not sure you
non-sexual
understand how it works, bro.
I mean, I'm explaining to you in as good a terms as I possibly can what asexual
and
means,
everything you're
and
saying
what
makes
sex
no
is.
sense.
You're
To
assuming
you, but to someone who has
everyone.
gone through these biology classes, that has gone through these psychology classes, that has gone through all of these these actual
Right, because college is the
it's not the be all
measure
end
of a
all. No, you can no.
intelligence,
Do
right?
not understand. No, do not misunderstand me. If you come up to me and you have just as much or more knowledge than me, having not gone to class, I will still listen to you.
Okay,
But you are spewing nonsense, acting like you are right.
Just because
there
you
is a
think it's
difference
nonsense doesn't make it nonsense. It's factually and scientifically
No,
true.
I am not. No. I don't think it's nonsense. The scientific community thinks it's nonsense.
No, that's where you're wrong. The scientific community agrees with what we're saying, not you.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No,
Who
they
are you
fucking
listening
don't.
to? What scientists are you listening to? What
Listen,
Hillary
understand.
Clinton,
Listen,
Obama,
understand.
Biden scientists are you fucking listening to?
I'm not listening to a specific scientist. I listen to the consensus, which is what I've said from day one. Right? The consensus is that there are male.
You're either male or female. We are
I gave
human.
you your full time, did I not?
Well,
Yep,
I
all right,
spoke
guys.
for 2 seconds, bro. What are you talking about?
Consensus is not fact.
I
there was a
agree with that.
consensus
But
that the
consensus
world
is the
was flat
best
for how many years?
understanding that we have. Consensus is the best understanding that we have at the moment.
And the
just like a
consensus
scientific theory is something that
that
has been tested and
sex is
tested
not
and
a
tested
spectrum.
and cannot be proven to be false. Right? It's not a theory you just made up in your basement. A scientific theory is something that's been tested and tested and tested and cannot be proven to be false. That lumps together a whole bunch of hypotheses that answer a question in the universe. It's different.
And all right, guys. Now we done gave this topic long enough, but I do got to get to some super chats. Shout out Mr. Doc Hill. He says, "Give me the link. Let me in, coach. This way left." I got you, my man. I got you. Go ahead and check the Discord. I post a call-in link in the Discord. And shout out to Hellbat. Fun fact: seahorse female impregnates the male. Well, yeah. But all right, guys. Let's get back to the video, and I'm going to go ahead and pull you guys in for y'all opinions.
condition. I had to look this up in the background to confirm I didn't mishear this.
Yeah.
The one bail condition was that he was not allowed to post on X.
Yeah.
So either he has access to his X account or he spends the entire term in prison awaiting trial. This is the sort of thing that, I would imagine would happen in Abu Ghraib or some sort of third world prison hellhole where you're trying to stop ISIS propaganda from terrorists or something, and even then there are civil liberty concerns.
Right.
And so one of my questions actually is to Ben from the advanced party here. What would happen if you campaigned on, since it doesn't look like there's any momentum within the UK to actually shut down these laws, what would happen, do you think, if the advanced party used these laws against its political enemies the same way the system is using them against advance? What if, for example, speech about heterosexuals or speech about straight white males or speech about the majority of the population, for whatever term that is, or speech about conservatives or speech about people who are patriotic or whatnot? What if it was hate speech for invective to be hurled at them online? I think if folks had to taste the medicine of this from across the different groups in the UK so that everyone had a kind of mutually assured destruction about this, I think everybody knows that if these laws were actually applied with any sort of fairness at all, then basically everybody in the UK would be arrested.
Okay, but let me throw it back at you quickly on that point, because very critical of the UK, as indeed most people in the UK are, frankly. But you've also got at the same time President Trump wanting to jail people who burn the American flag. What do you feel about that? Presumably,
I mean, at least I could say whatever the hell I want. It's like, shoot. Like, look, if this whole burn the American flag actually passes, which I doubt it will, but if it actually was signed into law, I mean, it doesn't really, in my personal opinion, it doesn't affect any forms of free speech that I have. I can still say whatever I want. I can still criticize whoever I want. I can still dress, do whatever I want. It's just that when it comes to a flag burning, I mean, maybe I can just burn an American flag on a piece of paper and I should be satisfied with that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anybody want to tackle that one?
Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is be like, oh well, like I can have all the freedoms I want in my house, and then I can have all the freedoms I want in my head, and then I can have all the freedoms I want in my dreams. Where does it stop?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, hold on. Where you going with that one, Parabolic?
In your dreams? Yeah, I think you can think up or dream anything.
I'm saying.
And it's
if you sit there and strip away free speech in any way, right? If you sit there and start stripping away,
well, they say you can't burn a flag.
I do not agree with. I think everybody on that panel, I think everybody on that panel agrees, right? That dude should not be jailed, right? I hope that everyone on that panel agrees that even though we all would probably beat someone's butt if they saw someone burning the flag, that it still is protected speech.
Here's the thing,
and
though.
To give away a fundamental protected speech.
Parabolic. This is where they got you, because you think about it, even you said it would incite you to do violence. That's where it kind of goes.
No, not necessarily. I might, but the act itself does not incite violence.
Yes, it does.
No.
I mean, a lot of people.
No, it does not.
Average American person.
Hold on. It may invoke feelings. Which is perfectly fine, but it actually does not invoke violence.
In that case, then name me one thing that does invoke violence. One part of free speech that does invoke violence. Go ahead.
Kill and then a specific group of people.
How is burning the flag any different than saying kill America?
It's not saying kill America. It's saying you don't agree with their fucking policies.
It literally is them saying we hate America and we want it to burn. That is what they're saying.
No, that doesn't necessarily.
Yes,
no. So you're implying something. No, you're implying something.
No,
you don't know what they're burning the flag for.
People said as they burnt the flag. They literally said this as they burnt it.
Oh, you mean that? You mean like that guy who did it in Washington D.C. who specifically said that he was burning the flag in protest?
Not one person, dude. Several people. Several people yelled "Death to
He
America" as they
specifically
burnt the
burned
flag
the
on
flag in
video.
protest. Oh, by the way, great. I agree that those people are horrible. I'm not saying what they're saying is right. What I'm telling you
I didn't
is
say
that
you did
if
say
they're
that.
just saying we hate America, right? If they're saying we hate America, that's fine. That's protected, right? If they're saying
Yes,
death to
yes, I
America,
agree with you.
that
I
is
agree
where we
with you
get
there.
into a different issue. Right?
So
You see
okay,
what I'm saying? That is invoking violence. Is death to America, kill America. That is death to. That is a invoking violence statement. However, burning the flag could mean anything.
true, but here's the
It could
thing though.
mean you
This is
don't
my
agree with the
argument here.
policies.
What
It
else
could
could it
mean.
Hold on,
mean?
guys. Now this is
What
my
else could it
argument here,
mean?
though. No, guys, look. Here's my argument though, because everybody admits that if you burn the flag in front of somebody who's really patriotic, they're gonna put hands on you. Therefore, burning the flag in public is basically inciting violence. Like you are inciting violence. So if I go out there and burn a flag in public, somebody's gonna put hands on me, and that would be me inciting
No,
violence.
you're
And one, you
invoking
can't
the
just burn things in the
emotion.
middle of the street. Now, if I
You're
burn in my
invoking the emotion.
backyard,
Okay,
huh?
so
Okay.
saying death to a certain group is invoking an emotion, which
No,
incites
no, 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 no,
violence.
no, no.
Whoa. Now,
Again,
you're
you're
being
trying.
parabolic. You're being a bit disingenuous. You're provoking an emotion that's
No,
gonna incite, that's gonna cause action. People act off
no, not
emotions. You just
necessarily.
can't say
Not
No,
that this
necessarily.
is
yes,
Just
gonna
because
cause
everyone,
necessarily.
emotion and then
just
people
because
take
everyone.
action.
A
Listen,
word
listen,
cannot
Seth. Listen.
do a thing. A
You
word cannot do a thing without another person acting.
emotion. You can't even walk down the street without using emotion. It's just part of how our brain works.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. But the act of invoking emotion is not the act of invoking violence. There is a very clear and distinct
You have
difference
to invoke
that you have to
emotion to
understand.
invoke violence.
I don't
Yes,
know.
I
I
agree
think
with that
people
as
get
well.
real
But there
emotional
is
when
a
they
distinction. There is a boundary that you do or do not cross to invoke violence. And I think that is something that all of you are getting misunderstood or misinterpreted. Again, death to something, kill something, that is invoking violence. That is saying violence to something, right? That is what invoking violence means. Saying I don't like America or just burning a flag is not an invocation of violence because it doesn't
Okay, so
say a
then
specific thing.
why is it illegal to burn the pride flag then?
It's not illegal to burn a pride flag.
Well, then why did people get fines and tickets for hate crimes?
They didn't get fined or tickets for hate crimes, my guy.
Yes, they
They
did.
got fined
You
and tickets
just
for
think you're
burning
so
flags in
right.
public.
Now,
They got a ticket for burning a flag in public, which is what that guy who burnt the American flag got as well.
So it is illegal.
hold on. Now, in the pride flag situation, the
No,
guy
he
actually
was
stole the
burning it
pride
in a
flag from
park.
the
You can
church.
only get ticketed for doing illegal things, bro. What are you talking about?
All right,
They're not going to
go ahead,
ticket
Seth.
me for following the law.
Shut up and let Set talk for a minute.
All right, guys. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and keep it pushing on the topic right here. But I'm definitely hearing both of the perspectives. But like I said, in my personal opinion, if people are willing to get violent over this action, then and this will be real. This is an action. This ain't you saying nothing. This is you doing something. If people want to get violent about that, I don't think that's part of I don't think that's honestly protected during free speech. Like if you're actually going to out there and antagonize people by burning a flag in front of them,
but you're not
knowing
invoking
that's going to
violence, are
piss
you?
them off and they're going to want to attack you, then yeah, that's not protected by free speech.
If even some people are willing to become violent over something, then that's invoking violence, regardless of if it's 10 people or every person.
Can you blame them when they saw their family members die to protect?
Exactly. Half of my family's in the military. Go ahead, burn a
Okay,
flag.
well, using your logic, then Trump not saying to stand down before the riots happened on January 6th was invoking violence, then, right? Using your own logic.
He did tell them to stand down. What are you talking about?
He said peaceful.
After the riot had already started.
No, before the day even started, he went online and asked for peace.
Now, before we get into the January 6th conspiracy, guys. All right. Now, I get where Parabolic is trying to take the argument, but let's try to keep it on track here. Actually, let's just get back to
his points, and I understand his train of thought. He's just not saying anything that's real. It's all bullshit that he believes to be true.
Honestly, what I'm hearing, Parabolic, I hear what he's
I have
trying to
only
say.
given
Yeah, I
you
hear what he's trying to
scientific
say.
facts and my understanding of said scientific facts and political
Right,
law.
your understanding of them. That's right.
All right, guys, let's get it out. Shout out to our man Seth. Well, Seth, burning your flag is treason. If you don't like it, move on. Put hands on my homie. You get the same. Respect your country, respect neighbors. You are allowed to protest. For sure. Yeah, you're allowed to protest for sure. But I always say this. Let's say this. Let's say there's two groups protesting and one group starts, burning a flag. And let's say this is a bunch of liberal or leftists in one group and a whole bunch of patriots on the other. If you burn that flag, we're about to literally have a civil war in the middle of the street. Like, don't you think like that's what we're talking about? Maybe that's why burning a flag just kind of should be taken out the equation so people don't put themselves in this situation. Because I could see this happening one day. I honestly can.
That's actually the new argument, because in 1989, when they tried to pass this identical law, the Congress actually voted to have it passed, but the judicial branch, the Supreme Court said no, we can't, because the argument isn't convincing enough. But now the new element added to it is the fact that when you burn a flag, people lose their mind, they go crazy, and shit goes down.
Also, I don't see how starting a fire in the middle of a public street is peaceful. How is arson peaceful? How is that peaceful protest?
Oh man,
Are you damaging your own property? Because if you're damaging your own property, it still is peaceful.
You're setting a fire in the middle of uncontrolled fire in the middle of a public street. That's arson. That's not burning your own property. If you set it in the middle of a fire pit in your backyard and burnt it, that's burning your own property. But in the middle of a public street with people walking around and wind blowing, and you just lit a flag on fire on the ground, that's an uncontrolled fire.
Are you burning the street or the flag? I'm confused.
Probably both.
What? Fires don't blow around in the wind? They don't jump highways, 30 feet across highways?
I don't disagree with you. And if there's any fires started, they should be charged with arson. I 100% agree with that. But the act of burning the flag,
anything
no,
in the street is illegal then.
All right, guys. So all right, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. I'll bring y'all back in.
You would be as incensed about that infringement of people's rights.
Yeah, I think that I certainly have an issue with that. I feel that is an infringement on free speech rights. I think that there are some complications about, well, I guess the scale of the damage. When I think about,
if you own the flag, if you own the American flag and you want to burn it, why should the state get in your way? Why should you face a year in prison?
I don't think they should. And let me be clear about that. I don't agree with Trump's policy on that. I'm simply looking at the scale of damage here in terms of there's with the UK, what I'm trying to say here is you have this massive problem in the UK.
Hey, shout out to my man Monty. How you doing?
What's up, Set?
Man, it's all good. Anyway, shoot, you was listening in or you just got here?
Oh no, I just got here. I was playing D&D.
You missed it.
What happened? Man, catch me up.
Oh well, Parabolic and Chase was getting into it about gender, and then again on burning the flag.
Okay.
So, and pretty much, I guess the whole argument here is that if you burn the flag in public, you could be inciting violence. This is why probably burning the flag and making it illegal is probably a good thing.
I mean, I disagree. I mean,
this is the one thing me and Monty disagree on.
Yeah. Just because your emotions are irresponsible. You have the right to free speech. You don't have the right to not be offended.
Right, but I mean, there's things that you can't say because it incites violence. And as I was saying to Parabolic,
fire.
Huh?
I don't. Yeah.
I was going to get to that too, but
yeah.
And we're talking about fire too, both cases.
Yeah. So arson is by definition becomes a felony whenever you or becomes a crime whenever you set fire to an occupied burning dwelling or property. It's not arson to light a flag on fire, especially a flag that you own. That would just be illegal burning.
You can't just light fires in the middle of public streets,
especially not in the middle of a city street. Yeah. So specific things like that should be illegal, and I believe they already are illegal. They just need to be enforced.
That's where most of these people are burning flags at, though, is on
Yeah,
the city
is in the
street.
middle of the city. Yeah.
So I mean, and like we were saying to Parabolic, like he was saying you can't. That's invoking feelings. Well, you have to invoke feelings to invoke violence, and if even one person is willing to become violent, that's invoking violence.
Well, that's like saying, I don't like your
okay. If the
tie.
majority is willing to become
Yeah.
violent, then
I'd like to.
and I would go out on a limb and say the majority of Americans would be willing to become violent over that.
Yeah, I mean this issue has been brought up by the Supreme Court and has been ruled as a constitutionally protected activity with all of the same arguments that we're kind of making back and forth. I like I said, I'm very much the technicalities that they can get you on. I hope they get you on all day long, like the illegal burning, the if you burn somebody else's flag, theft and destruction.
Okay, so
of
you're
property.
really just against it because you don't want them to take any kind of speech.
Yes.
Yes.
Because then they'll start taking more than they should.
It's a slippery slope, yeah, and
Okay.
that's the only, and that's why I said
Then I can agree with you there.
Yeah,
I can agree with you there.
You have to defend the speech you disagree with the most, and if I'm not being a hypocrite, I have to defend it.
I'm compelled to channel my inner Jordan Peterson. You know how he talks a lot about symbolism?
Yeah.
About the fire-breathing dragon. Why is it a fire-breathing dragon? Where did it come from? It came from predators. Why fire-breathing? Well, fire, it can kill you. It's not a predator, but it chases you. So, I mean, I think we still have to think about evolution and where the symbolism of fire and what it means.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So what you're making the argument for is that it's symbolic speech, and symbolic speech is protected.
But it also invokes.
I think it's symbolic for death to America, though, because that's what most of them scream as they burn it.
Trust me, I don't think the government should regulate it, but let me catch you burning a flag.
I'm actually.
I mean,
saying
that slippery slope is.
Yeah, I'm saying it invokes a response.
Right. Every speech is designed to invoke a response.
I don't mean fire specifically. Ignore the
now,
speech.
if you're physically hurting somebody or somebody's property, or even damaging the sidewalk with the burnt goo that gets stuck on the sidewalk,
now,
you should be responsible for all of that.
Now, but hold on. You say that you hope they get them on all the technicalities and everything, but
yep,
it's oh fuck! I just lost my train of thought.
It's hard to do it when it's protected like that. Yeah, and but you know how like you don't. It's not illegal to smoke weed.
Oh, I remember.
It's illegal to possess weed, like that type of thing.
Okay. Huh. All right, guys. Let's get back to it. Wait, hold on, Doc Hill. You here?
And I finally got here. I had to literally delete the app because it just kept making me go round and round and round and round. So.
Oh, geez, you got set in the desktop spiral.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
It was so much. I was wondering, why Parabolic was on there because he hit a lot of good points, but a lot of stuff really didn't make any sense. And then somebody corrected him correctly. There's a difference between psychology and biology, and why do we keep referring to the same thing if it's
I
not the
didn't
same
disagree
thing?
about psychology and biology, by the way.
No, I didn't say you disagreed. I said that there is obviously a difference.
Yeah, and I think humans have a mixture of both, which is why I discussed both.
Well, we do have,
and no other animal does.
But
that's not true anyway.
I think it starts out in a sense of
crows are super smart, by the way.
True. Intelligence doesn't equal what we have.
They have social skills, right? They are social animals. They don't have society. A psychology.
They don't have ideas.
How do you know that? Have you ever talked to a fucking crow?
I don't know. Have you?
Yes. They're very
talked
smart.
To a crow?
Yes.
Don't say that, Parabolic. You had a great argument going.
Like, yes.
No. So whenever I say talk to the crow, I don't mean the crow talk back. I mean I instructed the crow on how to do something.
Yeah, I talk to my dog all the time. My dog's smart as shit. That doesn't mean he has
Yes, but I'm telling you what I'm saying is, all right, so crows have a higher function in their brain, which is the only
Yes.
thing the humans thought that they had different than everybody else besides opposable thumbs.
Yeah,
That's
but
not true.
we're talking
Crows
about
have higher learning.
we're talking about
They
the two.
have higher learning. So
Yeah, they'll
therefore
hold
they
a
do have
grudge.
a
They have
psychology to
sentience. Yeah.
Yes,
oh, and check this out. Check this
I
out.
know
Check this out.
that.
Hold on. And you say, oh, animals don't have a psychology. Okay, well then question,
There's
whenever
psychologists for
a
dogs.
polar bear, right, is hunting down
What
its
I'm
prey,
saying is that the
right?
animals don't
Does
have
it
the
just
social
lunge at its
structure that
prey
we
all
do.
like
Can I get back
wild
in?
without any thought,
They
any motive whatsoever, or does it
they
just
don't
stalk
have the
its prey,
capacity
hunt
for the
it
social
down,
structure that we have.
Hello?
utilize
All right.
its own psychology to be able to gain that hunt?
Hello?
Psychology is not a thing that is unique to humans, is what I'm saying.
No one
Biology is not a thing that's
disagrees.
unique to humans.
That's not
This dude
what I was
did.
saying. That's not what I said, or that's not what I meant. What I'm saying
Hello?
is that they don't have the capacity for the social constructs that we have, and the ideas that we have, and
And I'm
And then
telling you
advanced
things like
civilization and so on and so forth.
well,
like they don't
Hello?
understand what the
thing,
hell gender
uh,
is.
any pack animals,
Ew.
chimpanzees,
Does
right?
have
Freaking
You just
gorillas.
naming
They
animals.
all
What's your
have
point?
social
do have
structures
social
because I'm
constructs.
Right.
Hello?
telling
That's
you
hold on, hold on, hold
that
on, hold on.
psychology that
Hold on, guys. Hold on here, because everybody. One mic, everybody. One mic.
I got you.
I was trying to get back
I'd like to
in.
hear what
I kind of
Parabolic's
got
saying because he's
rolled out.
making a point that I'd like to address when he's done.
Go ahead.
No. Continue your point.
every animal. Well, I'm just saying every animal
Hmm.
has a psychology to it, right?
Right. Yes.
Just like every human has a psychology to it. And they're
Yeah.
all different. No case is
Hmm.
the same, right? Therefore, to act like you know what's in someone's mind, right, would be to assume things that you cannot possibly assume.
Well, that's like
Right.
saying that
I
I
think
can't
I,
assume.
That's not true.
No,
I
no,
was trying to
absolutely not
get
true.
my point in earlier, and then it just went crazy. My
No,
point,
Yeah, Bo came in here to say something, and nobody let him talk at all.
bro, it's like
Um,
I threw gas on a spark, and y'all just blew back up. I think
all
one
right,
of the
everybody. Hold on now. Let's let my man Doc Kill speak, though.
one of
Yeah,
the main points. I think it comes down to what is your base belief system. If you believe in evolution, then yeah, anything is possible. If you believe in creation, you believe that there's an order to things, and those orders stick. And I think I'm just going to go out on a limb here for about it. You sound closer to evolution than to creation. Not to say that you don't believe in God, because you have some believers that say, well, evolution is part of creation. Things
Yeah.
evolve after God
that's
made them.
where I'm at.
yes.
To
That's where
say
I'm at
that
as
I
well.
believe in evolution would be a
Evolution.
misnomer. Just so you're aware, I
Say
believe
it
in
again.
science
All right.
and scientific study.
Now, all right,
What
guys.
is
So
Hold on. Now, I
whatever
do
that
have to
leads me
get this
to.
super chat here. Hold on here. Shout out to my man. Shout out baller alert to my man Seth. He says, "All right, I'll add to it and sleep. My great grandpa was Nazi regime. My grandma is Jewish. They faked our name to the U.S. Try burning anything. The U.S. flag is federal property. It's federally illegal to burn a flag. Recycle it. I mean, okay, well,
That's not true. Yes, you by retiring a flag, you burn it.
Yeah,
That's
all
what I
right.
think. That's what I
that's what
meant.
they used to do it.
Recycling.
The USO still
I
does
think
it.
he's saying try and burn a flag anywhere else in the world, and you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
true.
That's
That is
true.
But
true. Anywhere
that's the
else,
thing. We are the best country in the world for reasons like this. You can
Right.
do this in this country and you can't do it anywhere else. That's where the freedom
I
aspect of it comes in.
I did remember my point about that earlier, though, Monty. I'll send you a message in the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
and all right, now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
12,000
Just right quick, I'll be
We
back
know,
in
I
about
get that,
15 minutes.
but
So just go here.
I just don't think it's just
All
a
right.
UK issue.
Well,
Andrew,
what about the Palestinian protests on campuses? What about the number of college students that were arrested on campuses for protesting Palestine? Should they have been arrested or deported?
Well, hang on. Let's just be clear about what was going on those campuses in the wake of October the 7th. There were protests, and many of them were protesting perfectly peacefully. There were others who were genuinely seen.
But I'd like to hear from him about
hang
the
on, I'm
barometer
just
for
putting,
free speech.
yeah, I'm putting
I'll tell you.
they were genuinely seen harassing Jewish students who were barricaded into classrooms. Others had Hamas sort of signage and so on. So they weren't all just innocent, peaceful protesters.
But I'm asking about the barometer for free speech from your guest, because at what point do you limit free speech? That's what I'm asking.
Smashing into lecture rooms is a definite red line, is it not?
Was an act of vandalism,
Yeah.
stroke violence, and threatening.
Absolutely.
Can I answer that question?
Speech, that is just violent.
Yeah, what's up?
So your rights end where mine begin, and that's been held by the Supreme Court, by everybody. But again, you have the right to property. You have the right to feel safe. You have the right to not be harmed. You have the right to not be impeded in your daily activities. Your rights end where mine begin. So if you're burning a flag and you're choking me out with smoke, you're now impeding my right to freely travel. You're so on and so forth. If you're barricading me in a, yeah, that's assault. If you're barricading me in a classroom, you're impeding my right to travel. If you're blocking a highway, you're impeding my right to travel. So
It's also false imprisonment.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's a stretch, but yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can land it. But
So that's the answer to that question. Where do you draw the line in free speech? When you impede on other people's rights. And we all know what rights are. You do not have, and where I'll hold my own on this. You do not have the right to be offended, or sorry, to not be offended. Excuse me. With free speech, we draw that line at you can offend anybody you want. In fact, that is what free speech is designed for, is for you to say things that are inflammatory, for you to say things, you know, the Supreme Court case where the Westboro Baptist Church was slanting obscenities at a service member's funeral was covered under free speech because they weren't impeding the funeral, they were just saying things. And
Go ahead.
so that's kind of where I see the line. If it's hateful and it invokes displeasure, then it's doing what it's designed to do and what they have the right for it to be designed to do.
So if that being the case, why is it that we get so butthurt every time somebody uses a racial slur or calls a woman?
That's us getting butthurt. So there's
no. That's how people get
it's still protected though.
I get they're protected, but the point on that, and I still want to go back to the other one. But the point on that is, we say free speech. Yes, we have that right here in this country. However, there comes a point where you say, well, we have the right not to be offended, but that doesn't mean offense won't come. If I talk about your mother, if I talk about your dad, if I talk about your squirrel, whatever it is that's important to you, you may be offended. Yeah, you have the right to say it, but you also have the right to accept the consequences that may come with it.
Right. So if you say something to me that I don't like, and I get so offended that I punch you in the face, yeah, you suffer the consequences of getting punched in the face, but I also suffer the consequences of assaulting you.
Absolutely.
So, but the government doesn't step in and say, hey, you can't say that because that offended him.
Well, they kind of do when it comes to hate speech.
So hate speech is, I disagree with the concept of hate speech. Honestly, I don't think that
I agree with you 100% because you can't have free speech
without hate speech.
Exactly.
Yeah. I honestly think you should be able to say whatever you want, and we should find the shitbags in our society. They'll expose themselves.
And I agree with all that, but I don't agree that burning a flag is speech. I agree you're expressing something, but you can say that in words. You can speak that.
Right. But the freedom of speech is not just words. The freedom of speech doesn't just cover the pen and quill. It evolves.
And I understand that too.
Hey, can we bring the tone down just a hair?
Oh. I thought we were
this
fine.
Is loud. All right, guys. All right, so let's move on real quick.
Violence. But just going back to the point that you made, Mike, the question you asked me, which was extremely pertinent. When a government practices extreme ideologies, such as trying to convince the population to turn their heads upside down and accept that men can be women. The only way to perpetrate that extreme ideology and to get it accepted is to shut down free speech. And it goes for many other forms of ideology that have been perpetrated against the people of this country, including mass migration, illegal migration, a refusal to detain and deport people who come to this country illegally. So they're now policing our posts on X about our feelings about migration. We've got a whole police unit dedicated to it. We have journalists, and I'm sure peers will agree with me here. We have journalists being questioned by police for non-crime hate incidents. They're actually termed non-crime hate incidents. They're not criminal activities, but they have the police turning up to their doorstep on a Sunday morning. And this is all anti-democratic. And I think that was the underlying point you were also making, Mike, that when you have minorities being protected with this extreme form of ideology and the shutting down of free speech, effectively the damage that's done is to the majority, to the democratic voices within this country. And that is what is happening.
Okay, Andrew Wilson, on the issue of burning the American flag, where do you sit with that? Because I hear a lot of Americans taking a very high moral ground about censoring free speech and expression in the UK. But it seems to me that is a pretty direct attack on someone's right to do that if they wish to do that. Where do you sit with it?
Yeah, so a couple things. First, I think it's fine to throw people who burn the American flag in jail. I have no problem with it at all. If you're in the United States, you burn our symbols. And by the way, this has only been since 1989 that this has been a law. Only since 1989. Almost every state had laws against this. Why? Because they considered it incitement. Trump's executive order says the exact same thing. He considers it incitement under certain contexts. That's how they're going to avoid the Supreme Court. It's a good law. I support it 100%.
So,
we absolutely should be able to.
I don't know about that one. What do you think, Monty?
So, under that specific context, if you do incite a riot, it is already assumed that you are committing hate speech, which is not protected. So it's like if you want to go on YouTube, right, and burn a flag and post it on YouTube, and whatever, that is completely fine as long as it's your flag and it's your property and all that fun shit is maintained.
That's a good question.
But what's up?
What is the intent on burning the flag?
To get a message across that you feel displeasure with the United States. It doesn't matter what the message is. It doesn't. If there is a message in that, it's speech.
We already have something for that, and that's turning the flag upside down.
What? Right. So what you're talking about is forced speech. Forced speech is not free speech.
So Monty, I agree with you with that. I would actually almost be more comfortable with them posting a YouTube video, because with them doing it right in front of your face in the middle of the street, it's like they're spitting on you, like personally.
Right. But it's not them spitting on you. So
I know, but that's how people feel, is what I'm saying.
Can I make an analogy? I think that all of you will understand.
It's actually worse to me.
Shoot, it's me as well. Me as well. Like I'm not defending them. I'm just defending their right.
If you walk up to someone who is a trans woman and call them a male, they may punch you in the face, right? You didn't technically incite violence by calling them a male, right? You didn't technically incite violence.
But that's
the same thing as burning. That is the same thing as burning the American flag.
It's
not.
To them it is. It's not even close.
Someone might actually be incited by that. Yes, I don't disagree with that. But the words themselves or the act itself is not the incitement of violence.
You know, I can understand that.
Just because you can't handle your own emotions does not mean somebody else's rights need to be trampled on.
And I can understand it because these trans people do carry this stuff like it's their flag. I mean, they got a flag and their flag carries their ideology. So, yeah, I mean, I could see where, burning a flag is going to get a patriot violent, and calling a trans woman a man or misgendering could get you punched in the face.
But he is a man. Factually, scientifically, and physically, he is a man.
So it doesn't matter. They don't fucking. It's inciting to them. So that's why I argue this so hard, is because if I call a trans woman a male by mistake or out of ignorance or out of the fact that I just don't like the fucking person, that should not be considered inciting them.
Right. We already came to the agreement that it has to be the majority. for it to be incitement.
So it has to be the majority of your audience. So if the majority of my audience is a trans protest, and I say y'all are a bunch of fucking creeps,
of the population.
It's not. It's not a majority of the population. It's
So
how
then
people feel.
how do they determine what is and isn't incitement then?
Because if you get 20, 30 people that come and want to whoop your ass over it, you've just incited something.
There's something called fighting words, right? That is what is called incitement, right?
And
There are literal words
misgendering
that
a trans person
actually
is not
are
fighting words.
registered as inciting words.
And misgendering a trans person is not fighting words.
Not according to
in
you.
no way.
Not according to any definition.
What about their definition of it? If we're going off of people's feelings and how they feel about
that's like me saying that my definition
If we're
is
talking
I'm
about
right.
legality, no, it's not inciting words.
So hold on. So what makes your personal feelings any more important than somebody else's personal feelings?
That's
about
my
something?
point.
Exactly. So that means that you should not.
There is a distinction. There is a distinction is the fact that the flag is a symbol of our freedom, and we've
and of people who gave their life.
It does not matter.
And calling a trans woman she is a symbol of her freedom. Do you see where I'm going?
However, you're talking about a single person singularly or a small group of people.
It's not a symbol of their freedom. It's a symbol of
about a culture.
Just because you don't recognize it as that, what if they don't recognize the flag as a symbol of our freedom?
A nation.
That's not. That's
just like we don't.
Then they're just not. Then they're not acknowledging reality. Then they should see a therapist.
That's with their sex.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make. If you start down the slippery slope, there's nothing from the next administration to stop them from doing the same thing on an arbitrary issue. You open the floodgates when you do this.
Well, I mean, weren't they already making it a law to illegal to burn the pride flag?
Exactly, and should that be a thing?
No, it shouldn't.
But
exactly.
But it was before. I mean, so
right, and it shouldn't be. I that's why I speak
I'm gonna check that just right quick, just to make sure that we're not being fed some random BS lie.
So, I mean,
New York.
The idea that because opinions change over and over and over again, people's views on things change, but the First Amendment is supposed to be the constant through all of that. You can say or express yourself in any which way you please, and you should be able to without the government stepping in and siding with mob rule.
Now, I did say that I agree that I would be more comfortable with them like doing it in their own yard in a fire pit. You know, take a video of it, whatever, post it, because they're not breaking any other laws. I'm not okay with, but more comfortable with.
Right, I'm not okay with it either way. I'm not okay with flag burning. That offends
when
me
I
as
say
well.
when I say flag burning, I'm talking specifically the people in city streets screaming "Death to America" and burning the flag. That should be illegal.
No, burning a pride flag has never been illegal in New York.
I have to slightly concede to the fact that burning a flag on the internet would be less damaging because
how would it be less damaging?
You did hear that though, right? Burning a pride flag has never been illegal. It is only illegal if it is theft and then burning.
Yep, that's always illegal.
Can I finish? All right, so because if people then see it on the internet and then go out into the streets and start a riot, I'd say put the people that started a riot in jail.
Why wouldn't you say that for the person that's doing it? What if someone's holding up a sign that says fucking fuck Trump, and that incites a whole bunch of MAGA supporters, which is the majority in the country right now. A majority of people voted for him. So now the majority says that this is hate speech, and now we're going to go whoop his ass because that's how we feel about something.
And the
And
whole
that's
point is we're a republic and not a democracy, and that's democracy.
but your context hinges
Oh
on
no,
if
do
the
not start with
majority of
this.
people
No, 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 Monty, hold on. Hold the phone on this. We're about to go into this right quick. Our fucking country is a constitutional republic, which is a subset of a representative democracy. We are a democracy and a republic. We are both. Stop with
Absolutely.
that dumb shit.
All right.
Okay, but we still have an underlying moral guideline to what we believe as a
That
country.
doesn't
That's what
matter.
makes us a republic.
No, our constitution makes us a
That's what
republic.
I just said.
He's saying that's the moral guideline is the Constitution, but it's not. It's
it's the legal guideline, which do have some morality laws in it, but it's the legal guideline.
So my point is just because a majority of people, because that was your barrier to entry. If a majority of people are offended by it, i.e., burning the flag, then it should be illegal. And that's not how it works. You don't work on mob rule. If a majority of Americans say
That's
that,
what I'm conceding. That's what I was saying by
okay,
that's democracy and we're not a democracy. That's me conceding.
And
right.
all right, guys, we went a bit. We're over time right now, so we're gonna go ahead and shut it down here. But great panel.
Thanks for waiting on me to get back. I appreciate you.
Man, no problem, man. And shout out to all the panels, man. Shout out my man Chase, Maine, Monty, Parabolic, and Doc Hill, even though he just got back.
Hop in the Discord if you wanna continue the conversation, because yeah.
All right.
So do I have to send an email for that or what?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah. Send me an email and I got you. I'll just go ahead and send you.
Got you.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, I'm heading out on this one, guys. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. This is Set with Set Me, and I'm heading out. All right, guys, y'all be safe out there. Have a good morning, and God bless. Today, modern AI is quite advanced, except two problems. It is censored, and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't. But let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Venice AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Venice AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Venice AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Venice AI SET, and use the code SET. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Venice AI, guys. Hey, this is Set and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor.